Guys, I'm back. I'm back and, ooh, pardon me. I'm back and I have no fucking hair. You might be able to notice that I got a little bit of a haircut. I have problems with it. Namely that it's, once again, and I feel like I've said this before, where I get haircuts and sometimes the stylist will go much shorter than what I want it to be. So, today was my breaking point, though. For the first time, I had, like, here's the thing. It's not the end of the world. It's shorter than I would like, but part of the reason that it's so short is because a second stylist had to clean it up. I got paired with, so I've never invested in getting a barber, right? So I just kind of go to Lady Jane's, which is a chain, and I just let some random lady each time be the woman who's going to cut my hair. I've learned how dangerous it is to play that game of luck of the draw. I got a stylist who just simply didn't know what she was doing. And she didn't tell me that she didn't know what she was doing until, like, the haircut was almost over. So I asked for my usual. Basically, I like to get the sides clippered, but I tell her, I'm like, I like to leave almost all of the length on the top. Just a little bit of a snippy snip to kind of clean it up a little bit, even it out, because, you know, hair can grow in a little bit uneven. But I was trying to grow out the hair on the top of my head. She's like, bet, I got you, I can do that. Proceeds to cut it so fucking short. I don't even know how she got it this short. Like, I've got product in it now, and I've tried to put it up a teeny tiny bit of what's left of the hair, but I left that place looking like I had a buzz cut. And part of the reason, so she went super short to begin with. She also fucked up grotesquely, like, the blending and the fade, so much so that she just stopped, and she was like, she tries to not panic me. She's like, I'm just gonna go get another stylist for a little bit of assistance. Don't worry, it's totes normal. We do it all the time. Brings the other stylist over, spins me around the chair. She's looking at it and she's like, it's not like blended that bad, right? Second stylist steps in and she now spends the next like 10 to 20 minutes trying to like clean up whatever like mess the first stylist had made. And I just... It was like, as I'm having this second hairstylist clean up my hair, who was also the sister of a boy that I used to talk to who was in the hair salon. That's a whole side story how that came up. But the point is, it was during this moment that I was like, okay, George, it is time that you divert some of that OnlyFans income to perhaps a regular barber who maybe will charge me a little bit more money to cut my hair, but will actually be somebody who I can build a relationship with, figure out what I want to do with my hair, maybe recommend some options, and not just go up to a random stranger every single time and hope that they don't, like... Basically, when I get haircuts, they do whatever they're going to do to me, and then I have to, like, pretend like, oh, it's fine. And usually it is, because let's be fair, I usually get haircuts every 3 weeks. My hair tends to grow pretty fast. It'll be... I don't like how short it is at this exact moment in time, but, like, it doesn't need to be that much longer. I do wear my hair pretty short, so, like, a week of it growing out, it'll probably look perfectly fine and normal again. But anyways, I should get my hellos in order. Changeling, DJ, Dogface, John F, Tim W, Fiction of Grandeur, Jacob Welsh, TJ Magix, hello, George Bald! Thanks. The haircut is giving yes, sir. You look so much younger. Oh, do I? Is that the effect? Well, don't worry, I still got the white boy skin that ages like milk, so that'll be going on for me. Got a haircut today too. So annoying. Yeah, I feel you. That B story needs to be the A story. Right. Well, that boy, you see, his sister, she's the one who cleaned me up. She did a fantastic job. Maybe I should see about getting her as my regular person. I just thought it was funny because I was not expecting to see him there. Anyways, we're here to do the finale stream of the game. Yes, that's the goal. That's where we're at right now. I am ready to present the photo. I remember I wanted to present the photo yesterday, and the court was like, George, are you fucking stupid or something? That photo has nothing to do with this case. And clearly it does, so now I'm about to throw it in their goddamn face. And then we're going to try and finish the rest of the case. And finish the game, and then be able to stream something new, actually. So that's what's going to happen. The haircut story with the suspense music is satisfying. Do I look like I'm fresh out of the military? Are you ready to put me to war? Just kidding, I'm too old to be drafted. Alright, photo of Gina. Throw it at him. What are you? A print from the detective's infernal cameras again? Well, yeah, I've been trying to explain it to you. My judicial assistant, Miss Susato Mitochondria, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman. That's why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure that I had the necessary proof. And the necessary proof is this photographic print, Counselor. Yeah. This print shows a scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises. Sarun Intaral... Person whose question is, are we continuing into the second game directly after this game, or are we taking a break? I have said it many a times because I've gotten burnout from this game. We are taking a break. In the words of Ross Geller, we're on a break after this game. I need it. My mental health needs it. There is no way in hell I can immediately go into the second game. I don't care what kind of twists or, like, you know, I don't know if there's going to be one of those, like, what do they call it? At the end of, like, a cliffhanger. I don't know if this is going to end on a cliffhanger. If it does, so be it. I'm already sitting on one. I remember a extremely scantily clad woman, fresh off the boat of Egypt, who hitchhiked on my Niners from 999. Do you know what I'm saying? We never really learned what happened with that. So I'm very good at sitting on a cliffhanger. Don't think I won't do it. We will get to the second game eventually. Just... it's gonna take me a minute. Anyways, back to the case at hand. The print here shows a scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises. Agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielding a gun in the direction of the defenseless broker. Right, it does. But more to my point, actually, if I can circle back to it. I'm gonna slam my desk while I do! It pictures the storeroom door in the background. Let me see that print again. Yes? Oh, well, I don't believe it. You know, this is really quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom is completely devoid of a peephole of any description. Man, I can't believe we're really calling that Peepin' Toms Beware. Voice acting. Ashley! What? You couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done, because at that time that it happened, there was no peephole in the door for you to look through. In other words, your testimony is a bunch of bullshit! I mean, it's a catalog full of lies. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. Please don't hold me in contempt of court. Girl, calm down your twirling. Order! I am satisfied that the defense has substantiated its claim beyond all reasonable doubt. Hi, Corinne says. This witness's testimony was entirely fallacious. He filleted the whole thing. What? He was sucking so much cock he forgot to tell the truth, Your Honor. That's not the only thing we now know beyond all reasonable doubt. Right. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with the crime scene. Right, but, sorry to say this, she's not here anymore. She's back in Japan, so... What are you gonna do? Go hunt her down and drag her back here? But more importantly... Oh, good lord. What more, Von Zeeks? The defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But that is no proof that this man is the victim's killer. Yes! That's right! What? Wait, huh? I was there at the scene! It's true! And I was shot in the arm, it's true! But that's all. Yes. In fact, if you look at the circumstances, I'm the victim here! Oh, fuck off. My guy. You're full of shit. This is like when I wrote a fake college essay for a scholarship that I experienced homophobia. Listen, homophobia is very real in the world, and a lot of people did experience it. I'm just, like, aside from the occasional high school bully that called me a slur in the locker rooms, my bullying, my homophobia experiences have been quite limited. I live in a very accepting area. But they're right! As it stands now, I don't have any definitive proof that he's the culprit.
Still, he can't worm his way out of it now.
What do you mean?
You know what they say?
No, what do they say?
There's no point in locking the cat store after the cat is bolted.
I don't know that that's that big of a saying.
Isn't that right, Bruno?
I don't know. I don't do cats. Also, Tub, hello.
As Hurley always says, one lie begets another.
That one I have heard.
Or wait, that might have been a line that I wrote for him in one of my stories.
Alright, you plagiarizing fuck. It's actually a very famous quote. Lies begets more lies. Regardless of whoever said it first, I do agree with it. Mr. Ashley! Not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense. Make no sense? What do you mean by such a remark? What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. In other words, there's a fundamental inconsistency in your statements. What?
Objection!
This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency. I'm working on it. Iris was right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies within the witness's statements. They show that Mr. Graydon had knowledge of something he shouldn't have known anything about. Namely, the peephole. He shouldn't have known that there was a peephole. Right? The point isn't that you lied in your testimony, Ashley. It's the nature of the lie you concocted that's so revealing. You're simply not making any sense. Well, then let me ask you a simple question. How exactly is it, Ashley, that you knew of the existence of the peephole in the storeroom door? What? Well, obviously As the cat got your tongue, witness. Oh my god, he's a judge and a comedian. Someone get this guy a Netflix special. The peephole in the door was made after the incident occurred. And once I returned to the shop, having failed to catch the two burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Windibanks constantly carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Well, yeah, of course. Right. Wait! Whoa! Pause! Oh, Jesus. Accomplice? Wait. Okay. We're trying to prove that he committed the crime, but my roundabout logic is that even though he was there at the crime scene committing the crime, this was before Susato-san made the people. So yeah, even if he is guilty of committing the crime, he shouldn't know about the peephole in the door. That should be eluding him. This should all be brand new information to him. So why does he know if the hole was made after he left, he had to have been given that knowledge somehow. So either my man was really paying attention to the court proceedings and I can't remember if he never brought it up until we brought it up, the peephole first, or if he brought it up first. If he brought it up first, he had to have been told by somebody. If he was told by somebody, it would have had to have been one of the investigators from Scotland Yard. The only one who has any relevance to this game whatsoever is you! You dirty little conniving cunt! Are you the mole? Gregsy!
The place is chock full of pawned articles, and my lads had to thoroughly examine all of them. So I gave the order to have officers working around the clock and shifts so we get through it all.
And consequently, there's no way that you, Ashley, could have gained access to the shop. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the people in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony, it's completely inexplicable.
Objection!
And yet, the fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the people in the door.
Well, how on earth is that possible?
Could I have a word, please, Lord Von Zeeks?
Speak, Inspector.
Well, it's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put in my report.
Oh my god, he's guilty as sin!
There's really nothing more I could add to this testimony, so if it's all the same to you.
Permission denied.
Oh, fuck.
It's not all the same to me, Inspector, not at all. You will remain exactly where you are until the trial concludes.
Of course, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Ashley. It's Graydon. You shouldn't have known about the existence of that peephole. That can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else.
Objection!
Stop there, my learned friend. You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications. Aren't you on the same page as me? You just made our suspect stay here in the courtroom. I feel like we're on the same side right now. You can put away the angry eyes and we can fuck about it later. I do understand what I'm doing, is what I mean to say. The defense believes that the details about the case that Mr. Graydon claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And in fact, considering a particular clue we have, there's genuinely, sincerely, truly only one person it could be.
Well, who was the person in question, counsel? Who gave this witness details of the crime scene to facilitate his false testimony?
It was my assistant, Iris Wilson! Lock her up, Your Honor! It was Tobias Gregson. The truth is, it could only have been you, Inspector Gregson.
Me? What?
Objection!
You had better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my learned friend. Well, consider the fact. We've only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learnt of it during the course of the trial today.
Indeed, preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our hour-long recess, while the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from the communications station.
And until that time, Mr. Graydon would have had no idea, no inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court.
Are you suggesting that until such time as he was summoned?
Yeah. Until then, it's reasonable to assume that he knew nothing of the peephole. It was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position, that he would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder. You're suggesting to the court that it was while this trial was in progress that he received the information, so that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin. Yeah, that's pretty much my argument. And the only person with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with is you, Gregson.
Well, this is a bloomin' outrage. Why would I be giving away details of our investigation to this fella?
I don't fully understand, unless you're just, like, a conspirator against, like, the government? Are you all trying to, like, sell secrets? Is that what the master plan here is?
I was summoned to his lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Have you forgotten that?
Oh yes, quite true. In fact, I did have a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery.
Which means the first time these two laid eyes on one another was after the proceedings had resumed following the recess. Yeah, but I quite literally watched these two talk to each other at the fucking witness stand. Don't you remember that little detail that I was like, is that ever gonna come into play? Here it comes, boys. I am always paying attention. Since then, they've been in full view of the stand, where such illicit discussions couldn't possibly have occurred. Objection! Runo, come on.
Oh, I just remembered something, Runo.
What is it? She remembers what I remembered.
Well, there was that one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying.
Oh yeah, when the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve McGilded's music box. That's it! It was during that testimony. I remember finding it strange at the time. Mr. Graydon and the inspector seems to be having some kind of secret discussion. It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Ashley the information he needed then.
You little toe rag, you're making all this up. I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector, for crying out loud. Why would I do something like that? Why would I be giving away confidential details to the likes of this bloke?
I don't know, maybe you're all in cahoots against the government. Admittedly, you wouldn't have had any reason to do something like that for no gain. So maybe you were paid? It was part of a deal of some kind. That would make this start to make more sense. What deal, Counsel? I wonder if perhaps, in exchange for details about the people at the crime scene, maybe Mr. Graydon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector. The disc, maybe? Maybe he was trying to protect the secrets? But I don't know.
I'm sure I not need remind the inspector that if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind with a witness would be considered a gross case of
Fuck. What?
Malfeasance.
Malfeasance!
Malfeasance.
Malfeasance. The act that is illegal and causes physical or monetary harm to somebody else. Oh. Okay. I'm getting smarter every day. Word of the day. We got it. Okay. Yeah. Malfeasance!
Well,
Objection!
It's becoming clear that jumping in with accusations is this Nipponese student's specialty. Yeah, and it always fucking works, so maybe don't knock it till you try it. But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim. Evidence? Just what are you proposing that the inspector demanded of the witness in return? The court must see proof of this alleged deal. Well, if Inspector Gregson really did strike a deal with Mr. Graydon, logically, there's only one thing that he could have asked for. Yeah, that's gotta be it.
Runo, do you think it could be?
I think it could be. It's the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle.
Well, I must press you for an answer now, Counsel. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal that Inspector Gregson made with the witness?
I'm so confident in the answer that I'm gonna do a save of confidence. He would want my armbands. No. He would want the no. We never really used this manuscript. I don't really get why it's here anymore. It doesn't actually seem to be that relevant at all anymore. My brain is telling me the disc, right? What? The nature of the alleged deal. Like, the disc is clearly uber important to all of this. Or maybe... the box? No, he had the box. But didn't Inspector Gregson already have the disc too? Because he confiscated it? So then what in the world? Wait. No, I'm very confused. Maybe he wanted the second disc? The first one of the discs? There's nothing else that it could be, right? Single bullet wound, today's paper. Unless he's the one who wanted the secrets? Cause, like, he's a spy? Maybe. I think it's gotta be the disc or the paper. I think it's something to do with this disc. It's got all the secrets on it. Secrets are no fun. Throw it out there.
Take that!
Inspector Gregson. Besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another, very important, case?
What are you getting at now, Sunshine?
I'm bluffing my way to victory. Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? Ooh, maybe I would have been right to present the newspaper article or the disc. I had two options that were correct, and I picked both of them. I'm making that logic up in my head, but it seems like the newspaper would have worked. The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice.
How the bleeding Nora could you?
You see, we discovered during the course of this trial the music box deposited at Windibanks by Magnus McGilded. A special music box, designed to play 2 discs at once. It would seem very likely now that, encoded on the pair of discs that were in McGilded's possession, are the leaked classified secrets. Oh, he doesn't know that we know all of this? Was he not here for that part? So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Ashley, in which you exchanged the disc for details of the case.
You little...
Mr. Gregson.
Order!
On the day of the incident, when we met you at Windibanks, you said this.
I'll be taking that, whatever it is, of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So, hand it over.
No, don't! Don't give it to him! It's mine! It's all mine! Oh no!
I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now.
Fucking Gina, man. Scotland Yard already knew at the time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGilded was involved in the stealing of government secrets.
My orders were recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry, and do it on the QT. You know, strictly a hush-hush.
And that explains why, when I presented the disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume? Because you knew it contained highly confidential information.
Blimey, not likely. I mean, I wasn't sure of it myself. I realized there was a possibility is all.
Inspector, surely, you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you did indeed reveal the confidential details of the crime scene to the witness? To aid and abet this man in giving false testimony?
There's no other way around that Ashley could have known the existence of the people. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men.
Oh no!
Fuck yeah. I'm coming for blood today. Try your best. If, and I stress, if, this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth, it would mean that the second disc is as we speak here in this very courtroom. Oh my god, do you want to play it? Do you want to expose some government secrets? How could you make a claim like that? Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective. What? Wait. What? Why are we wait. Am I stupid? Is this brand new information? I thought that's how he was introduced to us. Was he not introduced to us as like, hey, I'm a detective with the Scotland Yard police? Was this supposed to like be secret information that I didn't know? Was I too stupid that I just assumed that that's what he was? Oh. Well, that's really awkward.
What's that supposed to mean, eh?
I don't know. I thought it was common knowledge that you were a Scotland Yard detective. As a seasoned policeman, the inspector will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand. Oh. Wait. What? I'm so... Your logic is frying my absolute last brain cell that is functioning. Okay, so because he's a Scotland Yard officer, you're saying, oh, he's too prim and proper to do a faulty deal. Of course he has the item on him. Okay, well, fine. Sure. Let's just search his body and call it a day.
Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession?
Okay, yeah. So, Runo's little what wasn't like, oh my god, what? He's a detective. It was like, why does it matter that he's a detective? Okay, I'm getting... It was a weird line of dialogue. Cut me a break. Can we all agree that it was a little bit weird?
He has the second disc on his person.
All right, bend over, Bubs. It's time to give you the old 1-2 and the rest of the fist and pull it out. The defense demands that the inspector is searched at once.
Oh, definitely! They could have only struck a deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before, and Gregsy hasn't moved from the witness stand since!
My lord, please! I order examination of his entire person, immediately! Strip him!
Well, Inspector.
You're moved, dude.
This young lad wants to tone down his imagination. He's insulted me and my profession quite enough. However, if it'll put this matter to bed and dispel any doubts about my involvement, then I'll happily submit to a cavity search.
What? He's going to agree to it? The whole fist? I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you now teeter, my learned student friend. You've made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service, and this trial will end. And my country's government will formally demand that you are severely reprimanded. Why would I be severely reprimanded just for losing my case? You lost like the last 4 cases in a row, and you haven't been severely reprimanded. Yeah, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I don't know if I'm going on with it.
Indeed. To have a visiting student make such defamatory remarks about our country's most senior police force.
Oh my god, everybody's so sensitive.
It's something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook. Or not be able to overlook.
You're just threatening Bruno because you're scared.
The accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences. It's true. I can't imagine that Gregson would have accepted a cavity search. Wait, what? I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. the disc must have physically changed hands, which means that the inspector should have it. But this doesn't feel right. He's too confident.
Very well, Counsel. You know the implications, so let me ask you one final time.
Okay, my lord.
Do you still persist in formally requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects?
Search him, search someone else, withdraw the request. Oh, God. Well, you see, there's... He had his whole shebang with Eggs Benedict. Did he have a shebang thing with at the Skulkin brothers? Like, maybe he pawned it off on one of them so that it wouldn't be on his person? Like, there was I feel like there might have been a scuffle, a tussle, and he has a rapport with them, so he could use them. They are also on the witness stand. Which one was it, though? I think they got into some kind of a tussle. Search someone else. The defense formally demands that the search do be conducted.
Well,
Don't say you weren't warned, but your typical Nipponese stubbornness may well land you in hot water this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good.
Fair enough, I've got nothing to hide.
very well then. Bailiff?
No, you're searching the wrong person. The defense does demand a search, but not of Inspector Gregson.
What?
Now what's all this? Oh no, the hiccups.
Fuck. Excuse me. Oh. Goddamn shit. They're getting to me, boys. Alright. I think I'm recovered.
I'm the one.
Nope, I'm not recovered. Hang on. Ein Moment bitte gern.
I'm back. I had a little bit of a water. I had a little bit of time to hold my breath. And I think I have recovered quite nicely. And I'm ready to throw this guy in the goddamn slammer for all of the crimes he's committed against humanity in this courtroom, including hiding the disc on his brother, Nash, Ringo, Ringworm, I forget his name, Waluigi. I think it's time to start.
I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me.
Nah, I'd actually rather check out the whole of your friend, your brother. What? Never mind. No. Oh, I should put my headphones in. No, Inspector, not you actually, but somebody else.
What's the meaning of all this, eh? Lost it, have you sunshine?
Dave Abler, hello, LOL.
The court shouldn't have to put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational.
Be quiet, all of you!
Who is this?
Sorry, a little bit of a head cold. Runo's doing what you all told him to do, and he's having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because that's the British way.
Yeah, what she said.
Well said, young lady. Indeed, this court is in awe of the defense counsel's conviction and eagerly awaits his next
Words. Dave Abler, thank you so much. It's a little bit shorter than what I wanted, but we're gonna deal with it the best that we can. Glad you like it. It's my military look.
You what? Now don't be hasty, my lord.
If I'm not mistaken about the things that I've seen in court today, I'm pretty sure that I know who has the disc at the moment. There is only one person that it could be.
All right, counsel, of whom do you request?
Well, there's actually two people that I think it could be, but the one that's standing next to him is the one that I think he was fighting with, so that's the one that I'm gonna go with, which was not you. I think it was Nash.
Take that!
Not Brant's Nash. It's Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Well, I never.
Blimey! Me?
Him? Very well then, bailiff. Restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects.
Please, Will, my lord!
Inspector?
Scotland Yard, has to object to this search.
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here.
Huh? What?
In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object.
But, Lord Von Zeeks!
I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial.
Bailiff, carry out the search.
Ha 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 ha, he's sweating!
Hold on a minute! I don't know nothing! Nothing about no disc! No! Cut it out!
Here, my lord, in the witness's asshole! I found this.
Good lord!
It can stretch that wide?
It can actually stretch up to 7 times its original diameter, Your Honor. In fact, I've heard rumors that you can fit a raccoon up there. I don't know who's ever tested that hypothesis, though. Another music box disc.
Look, I don't know nothing about nothing.
That is the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilton. Is that not the case, Inspector Gregson?
Fish and chips!
Order! Mr. Skulkin, what have you to say for yourself?
Gordon Bennett! I mean, just Gordon Flamin Bennett! I mean, God fucking damn it! I swear I didn't know nothing about that disc, honest to God!
Counselor, would you please explain what exactly is going on here? The alleged deal that was struck between this witness and this detective, no?
Without question, my lord.
Then for pity's sake, why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for information?
Inspector Gregson is a shrewd and calculating man who rarely loses his composure. But at one particular point in this trial, he did exhibit some unusual behavior. For just a brief moment.
I don't recall. What behavior?
Fuck! Well, it was during my cross-examination of Ashley. Tell me, Ashley, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket? I admit to nothing of the sort! While Ashley answered my questions, the inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by his coat and was shaking him violently.
Yeah, he did it all. Thought me noggin was gonna fall clean off, I did. I was wishing I'd been born as me brother, I was.
What? I don't care. And what exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that?
I ain't got a clue. He just turned suddenly and grabbed me and started shaking me. Why in the blazes didn't you mention the third gun when we got down to the station? That's what he said. Yelled it right down me old ear, he did. Me head's still throbbing now.
The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. But looking back now, it must have been then that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc.
Well, bless my wig. He hid it. But I'm afraid I fail to comprehend the motive here. If the detective had acquired the disc he was after, why on earth would he then proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence.
It would appear, my lord, that the inspector was not at liberty to do that.
Why ever not?
As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions. On the down low, the QT. Right.
The hush-hush. A top-secret assignment, is it?
As far as we're aware, the information stolen comes from confidential government communications. It would seem that if the information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
I'm operating under direct orders from the Ministry. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question.
So, realizing there was a chance you may be searched here in court, you took steps to hide the disc you had acquired from the witness.
Does this mean...
He only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him, to slip the second disc into his pocket.
So it was all a pretense?
Yeah, premeditated.
Well now, Inspector Gregson, and you, Mr. Graydon, are you prepared to admit to the accusation made against you of all this alleged deal?
How you gonna fight it, my guy? Admit to it? Yours truly? The rift raft, I swear. Ashley. Clearly our eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination. However, there's no proof that I passed the disc to the inspector. But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the peephole? I'm under no obligation to explain. What? Yes, I lied in my testimony, I admit that. So sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder? Leaking government secrets? Striking a deal with the detective? All of this is in this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of this is about. No, sir, this is the end of the game. We are wrapping this up, okay? I've got 1 more hour on the clock. Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit to making a deal with Mr. Graydon in order to acquire the disc?
Ladies and gents of the jury, as a Scotland Yard inspector, I will declare this and nothing more. I am acting in the best interests of the country. Whatever I've done, it's in the name of justice.
In justice we trust.
So, as members of the public of this fine country, I'd like to think that justice will be your guide and light when you're making your decisions.
Okay, gaslight, girl, keep gate, boss. Wait, what? That was... I fucked that up. Gatekeep, girl, boss.
This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary tumultuousness in the conclusions of a trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it's time that we put the matter to the jury for their final leanings.
Well, now, as a fellow servant of Queen and country, I must say I sympathize with the old inspector.
Yeah, he's a dependable man. I'm quite sure of that. In service, one becomes a good judge of character.
Even crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all pretty blurred to me.
Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really I would.
Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in the presence of idol. Stop.
Detective has very much trust in eyes, so I don't say more things. I barely exist.
I don't believe this! These 6 jurors, they're gonna believe Gregson. If they declare their decision now...
Is Ginny gonna be found guilty?
If I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, we're gonna lose. I either need some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Windibank or stole those government secrets, or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness.
Well then, counsel.
I think it's time I imposed on the jurors to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court.
If I let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings, Gina's gonna be found guilty.
So there's no choice then, Bruno! You have to throw some more evidence at them.
Okay. Who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon? Oh, fuck off, game. What do you mean? Haven't I done everything yet? What more evidence is there? I mean, what's left? Is it the goddamn manuscript that we've never fucking used? I don't know how that plays a role in any of this. Proof. I don't know. Crime scene, Windibank, Skulkin. We've been through all of the evidence is the thing, right? I think. We've been through everything except for that. What was important about this again? I mean, Gregson loves Iris. Like, to an extent that's almost creepy. He idolizes her like she's a god. Maybe this... Like, it's very, very out... Here's my thing. This is the one piece of evidence that has never come up the entire trial. And we're at the end. So, like, to some capacity, I'm kind of like, it's now or never that this has any relevance at all. On the flip side, why the fuck does this matter? The Hound of the Baskervilles. She used Daddy's notes to write it. She thinks it's a great story. I don't know why, but Hurley's forbidden her to publish it. Perhaps... Wait, what? The Hound of the Naruhodos. I'm fairly sure that Mr. Shulms is a friend of someone who has that name too. I don't know, but I think my gut is telling me this is what we have to do, and Gregson's the guy who's gonna care about this, I feel, not Graydon. Well, let's just roll the dice and see how it goes. Again, what did I say I was gonna do? I said I was gonna bluff my way to victory. So you little dirty sluts are gonna sit there and you're gonna watch me win this. Or shoot myself in the foot and fuck it all up at the last yard. Alright, there's one final piece of evidence I would like you to see.
What's that then?
This is so stupid, I don't know. If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, then you leave us no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly.
Well, go on.
Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to force his hand here. Excuse me. Sure, why not? Throw it out there. Dear God, what the fuck is this, Council? It's irrefutable proof, my lord, of the corrupt dealings that went on between these two men. This doesn't sound good. I think I'm fucked. Or perhaps, irrefutable proof of the corrupt workings of my learned friend's mind. Yeah, okay, fine, I fucked it up. Wait, no, how do I go back? No, shh, nothing happened, boys. Don't save. I saved before this, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did. Everything's fine, nothing happened. We're good. You're good. We're good. Okay, so, as I was saying, obviously we're not going to use the Hound of the Baskervilles. That's some, like, stupid shit. Irrefutable evidence that these guys worked together. Let's see. A surprise fourth witness's testimony resulted in acquittal due to insufficient evidence. No. Is it the blood samples? We've got Ashley's, thrice-fired Mason's blood. And his blood was on which ticket again? Windabank's blood, Ashley's blood, Ashley's blood. This ticket was for, very neatly, 1 pound, 1 gentleman's overcoat. Reverse side was a picture of a cat. Okay, I don't need to do all of this. The paper... leak, foreign secrets, autopsy report. Pawnbroker. Coroner's Dr. Stevens. Single bullet wounds. Crime scene photo. Crime scene floor gun, a gun, single round, gun for Windabank, gun for this, the stereoscope, the disc again. Do we throw the disc out like it's our masterful evidence? I'm so confused. Projectile discovered lodged in Mr. Sholmes's pouch. The small music, the flap of, I have a hypothesis. It's related to the blood on this, pawnbroker's ticket. But... Wait, no, hang on, let me look at... Skulkin... Tobias, Gregson... Stirred and single-minded approach, great lover of fish and chips... We don't have a profile for thrice-fired Mason anymore. it's the disc again? We never got the second disc in our evidence. You had the right idea earlier in the trial before the question even came up. Did I? The newspaper? Maybe? Intercepted by hostile nations. Of course not. I wonder... Irrefutable proof that they're working together. I mean, the disc, it's in code, and the code is something that, like, the communications guy is a specialist in, so he would, so they have, they like, have to be in cahoots, kinda, sorta. That's what I would think. Okay. Wait, how do I present? Wait, how do I... Oh, Inspector Gregson. Okay. This piece of evidence thoroughly. Oh my god! Okay, Runo's line, I think, made it very clear. I'm stupid. What does Inspector Gregson not want us to inspect thoroughly in the courtroom? All of the government's secrets. How can I force Inspector Gregson's hand? Let's look at all of the government's secrets. Wow, that... Whoo, George. Nothing gets by you, sweaty.
Take that!
Fucking Christ. Show the rest of the film! Or what did she say? Roll the rest of the clip!
Is that McGilded's music box disc?
Yeah, the first disc of 2, which has already been placed in Mr. McGilded's special music box and ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. God, I can't even fault the game because in retrospect, especially with Runo's line, that was obvious. That was a Catherine obvious statement, and that just flew right over my fucking head. Okay, it's fine. We recovered. Anyways, this time, with the second disc we've just discovered set in place as well.
Oh, goodness, this disc, Counselor.
No! Wait! What? I can't let you do that!
And why not?
Well, because it's got nothing to do with this case. That's why.
Not true, Inspector.
Huh?
The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of 2 distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message, and now we have a chance to confirm that theory.
Well, for crying out loud, Sunshine, we're talking about state secrets here. If you go letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it's treason.
Then do you admit the charge? That in order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealings with the witness?
You're mad! If you let that secret information out into the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot!
I'm already an enemy of the entire British government. Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness, that you continue to lie to the court, and all because by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine.
Don't you dare!
I'm gonna stop at nothing to protect my client, and I don't care who I make an enemy of.
Yeah!
My lord, if you please. The court needs to hear the sounds made by that music box.
Come on, Von Seeks, for Pete's sake, stop him!
Oh my god, not the foot again. Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I am no Scotland Yard puppet.
Ugh.
In this courtroom, my duty is to the law, so let me propose a toast to uncovering the truth. By fair means or foul.
No!
You can cry "nar" all you want, Inspector.
Very well. The defense's stance here, and that of the prosecution, has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen as this music box is set in operation once more.
Fuck yeah, play those dashes and beeps! Dots and dashes.
This time with the second disc in place.
Oh. It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code. Are you guys fucking idiots or something?
Alright, I admit it, whatever you want. For the love of God, shut that bloomin' box up!
Okay. As long as you admit it, that's chill. We're fine, Daddy. You're good. We're good. I'm good. You good? You good? Chat? You good? Well, then let me ask you again, Inspector Gregson. Did you or did you not strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand? Ashley.
Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the people in the pawnbroker's storeroom, Inspector?
I did.
Stop! What are you doing, man?
The gig's up, son. It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after the recess, and we were stood here in the stand together. That's when he approached me with the deal.
Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up!
Psst. Hey, you there. You there with the face. You look fucking dapper. Do you know that? Yeah, so cute. That's all. Alright, I'm gonna go. Oh, sorry. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbrokery the other day, aren't you? I may have something that you're looking for, Inspector. With me at this very moment, in fact. So, how about a trade? I suggest you accept. Or, information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed.
I couldn't let that information become public knowledge, not under any circumstance. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him the details about the case. That should have put him in the clear. The peephole in the storeroom door and the bloodstains on the overcoat.
By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate this witness's perjury.
I did. But then it turned out the peephole had only been made that night, after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windabank. You... Oh. Traitor! Oh my God! Girls! Boys! This is not appropriate behavior! Someone do something! Oh my God!
Bailiff, restrain that man at once!
Did he? What? Is he okay? That's it then. It's all over. Father God. I despised my life growing up. Those slums, vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had, they never spent a dime on me. Boo fucking who? So I set about studying, bettering myself, to one day escape that hellhole.
And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination in that respect.
Yeah, but then you decided to try and sell government secrets, so what the fuck was up with that? Why? Isn't it obvious? I wanted money! Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. And then one day, I met Daddy. Oh. Mr. Magnus McGilded.
You're a fiend queer with a bit of a talent. So you are. I've got money to throw your way if interested for a little, canoodling, you see? All you need to do is, go along with me on special dates, little errands, little hotel rooms. And you gotta help me out with this little plan, too. That's just a little side piece. Don't worry much about it.
I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum of money. As I was responsible for inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings, how easy it is to succumb.
But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime that you were committing.
And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child. Right, Mr. Mason Milverton. That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He had once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code, so I sought out my father again to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. Ooh, I like this art.
Oh, look at you, Ashley! What a fine gent you've become!
He was a different man to the one in my memory, a thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason, so I made up a story. I have work for you, Father! I need some music box discs made.
Music box discs, eh?
A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I've brought the score with me. There are two, actually.
Oh, I'd be delighted, son. You know, it's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch me my tools, would ya? They're over there in the loft.
That's how I had him make the two discs. Thereby splitting the information in two, you were taking considerable precaution indeed. It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs, and the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas. So what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Was the second part of a deal? The exchange of the second disc? Yes. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already. but it seems he became reluctant to part with his money.
But that doesn't really make sense, Mr. Graydon. For why was it that on the omnibus 2 months ago, your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilded and not yourself?
When I received the 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with McGilded, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me,
Next time there's an exchange, you let your old man do it, you understand, boy? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore.
Daddy tried to fix your problems? That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGilded. That's it! He had no idea what was actually on the discs I'd ask him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night.
That does leave a bit unanswered, doesn't it?
All I know is that the disc was taken from him, and he never returned home.
Yikes.
It was only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge.
Revenge? Here we go, boys. Confession time!
As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man will no doubt be able to imagine, McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish.
That's right. So he was behind it. My feet had barely touched British soil back then. And I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all. There was so much bribery going on, there was no way we were gonna get to the truth. You had Ashley who was bribing witnesses to try and get McGilded found guilty. You had McGilded who was bribing witnesses so that he would be found innocent. Everybody was lying!
I'd made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGilded by then. So I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in this city willing to do anything you ask. McGilded himself is the one who's shown me that.
Are you saying that?
I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure he walked free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved.
Yeah, so then he paid assassins, I guess, or arsonists, to kill him in the omnibus. Yeah.
That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago. It was planned, and it was executed, all by yours truly.
McGilded's death that day. It was caused by this guy. Yeah, that tracks.
Everything is ready, sir, if you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making my tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. They're gonna examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
So that policeman who came to tell McGilded he could examine the omnibus again.
That's right. It was an imposter, hired by me. McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony.
Yeah, he wasn't a very good guy.
So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. That also makes the whole world go blind.
A spine-chilling account indeed.
But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see.
A loose end? How so?
Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with McGilded.
Oh, yeah. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime.
When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I'd dealt with McGilded. This is the first of the 2 discs, and the music box you need to play them.
Well, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guineas for you, young man.
What's this? Windibank's pawnbrokery?
Aye, 'tis a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. You can use it to redeem an article I've deposited there for you. There's no need to give a name. Just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend the watchword. I've put a jewel in pawn for ye. It'll fetch a good 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will.
I've never heard of a pawnbrokery being used in quite that way before.
Have ye not, Mr. Graydon? London's pawnbrokeries are very useful places. You know, each one is like an extremely secure vault.
Okay, great. As I predicted, the confession is getting a little bit long-winded. I get the big picture here. So I knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in the pawnbrokery somewhere. It's on that night that he kills my father. He must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yeah, Gina Lestrade. What a mistake that was. I remember now. When we first met you at Windibank's that afternoon 2 days ago, you had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know who you were looking for? From the trial. That pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar, anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of McGilded's pawns, that he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket, so I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline. And he was correct about that. And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was wait until the girl went into Windibank's to redeem the articles, but unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilded's overcoat and the one disc that was in its pocket. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing. Because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. Right. But he was unaware of that fact.
Meanwhile, as our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing, we'd picked up on the fact that McGilded was involved.
Inspector, you're recovered.
My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible, so we started gathering the fellow's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could.
Yeah. Then, when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I became nervous. Okay. Okay. It was a race against time, had to find the articles before the police did, and so that prompted him to break into the place that night with his old friends, the Skulkin brothers.
What are you doing in my shop?
And gunfire. It was all just a tragic accident. Macadamia Nut, hello. Thank you for the nice haircut compliment. All right, boys. I get the big picture. We can wrap up this confession if you don't mind, because I got about 30 minutes on the clock, and I know that we still have to do our little fucking epilogue probably after this is over. All right, you brought your own gun with you just in case. The third gun, that's great. Okay, and you shot and you killed the pawnbroker. Yep, I think we've wrapped it up. Confession. Let's get this confessing. The man had already turned to flee. I didn't intend to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge.
A sorry tale indeed.
It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash or Ringo even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything. Phew! Good. Glad we have it behind us. All right, I would like my not guilty verdict for my client, and I would like to leave the courtroom. When you're ready. Earlier you called McGilded a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same. You've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGilded. Yes, I think I have.
Well, this has been a long and very exhausting trial. However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon?
He's been restrained, my lord, and is being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Windibank and the stealing of government secrets.
Very good. And you, Inspector? Regrettably, you would have to face the charges yourself.
Yes, my lord, of course.
It transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. That fact remains whether you were doing so in the line of duty or not. The crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable.
Now to the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Yes, sir. Let's do it. All right. Very well. Ladies and the gentlemen of the jury, give me your decision. Great.
Not guilty.
Thanks.
Not guilty.
I feel dope.
Not guilty.
I feel
Not
powerful and strong.
Not guilty.
It's about damn time, you fuckers.
I won the game. Ha ha! That's the stuff. I'm off the hook.
Finally, Runo! You managed to do it!
Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure we'd come out on top for a while there.
Susie was right! You're the best lawyer in the world!
Oh my god, Susato.
Miss Lestrade, I'm not finished with you yet.
Oh, what you looking at me like that for?
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider, no?
Oh,
2 months ago, in my courtroom no less, you gave false testimony. And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Windibank's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGilded's property.
I never done nothing of the sort.
Of course not. Right.
And just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening!
And turning our attention to the defense. Determining that, when played together, the music box discs contain a message in Morse code was, well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, Counsel.
Thanks, I'm pretty fucking smart. Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast. Oh my god. Thank you. It's about goddamn time I get some recognition for all the hard work I've been doing. To demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom. Oh. Are you being sassy with me? Right. Thanks for my moment. Look, it was the only way I could get Inspector Gregson to admit what he'd done. If I could say something on that point. Oh.
It's,
It's about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, it's just... You see, I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact.
Oh, goodness, madam. An unhealthy level of obsession, one feels.
But I must say, in my opinion, the sounds produced by those 2 discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of 2 different tones.
What?
It wasn't... What? My lord, I want to listen to the music box again. Was it all a scam?
Are you off your nut? How many times do I have to tell you? Those discs contain ministerial secrets.
This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. We know McGill did conspire to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no... We have no need to pursue the matter further. That was very odd to just kind of throw in there randomly.
Miss Lestrade?
Yeah, my lord?
That which you have seen here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing.
Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalogue of depravity.
An appalling experience to befall any child.
Come on! It ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back slums.
I beg your pardon.
If you're weak, you pay for it. That's just how life goes. Gina. But look, I reckon I've worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you want to change it, you've got to start at home. Great, so you'll do that. That's lovely. All right, give her not guilty, please. Thank you. Find the defendant. Not guilty. Give me those indoor fireworks, babes. Super safe, super dangerous. Phew! Alright, that was a cute one. I'll give it that. It was cute.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Okay. Court is done, boys! We have made it to epilogue. Some of you guys have said you might want to leave this till tomorrow's stream. I say no. I don't care how painful it is. I am finishing this game tonight. I have to be free of this game. Now, Lord Von Zeeks, I already knew that you were an alcoholic because you drink every single try. Well, actually, I guess you never actually get the liquid down your gullet. But drinking alone, what kind of loser would do that? On a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my Far Eastern friend. Oh. Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within Englishmen. And at the same time, saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human. We're not so very different on the inside. You know I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom. Oh my god, you could have just hit me up on Grindr. What? When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendships and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hoped to look into the eyes of the man I once knew and try to understand. You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese? What happened exactly? Well, you may ask, and one day when the time comes, you will learn the answer whether you like it or not. Alright. I'll wait for that day if I must. Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey, and my retirement from service 5 years ago, it gives me cause to wonder if our meetings have some deeper purpose. Right. Okay, there he goes, shattering the water. Super chat, Art Rod, thank you so much for the $4.99. I'm supposed to, I thought, get a pop-up. It's possible it'll happen in like 5 minutes on a delay or something. I don't know how bad the delay is, or if it's just not working. Don't know why it's not showing, or maybe it's because you didn't have a message. Well, you have your picture, your little fox, your little gif. I like it. Okay, thank you very much. Much appreciated for our finale stream. So farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again. Right, there's gonna be a sequel. I know. Does that mean he's gonna be the prosecutor in the sequel? We're not gonna get a new one? April 17th, 5:24 p.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. It's done. It's over at last. But where's Iris disappeared to? Oh. Congratulations, Gina. We knew it all along. I knew you were innocent. Well, you did what you said, Mr. Naruto. You believed in me right up to the end. You're as odd as your name. What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you. There's the super chat. Art Rod, thank you for the $4.99. She came through. No one ever has before, see? Kept a promise, I mean, properly. Yeah, alright, no one loved you except me. You're welcome. Never trust anybody. You guys think I can't get through this fast? This is Gina Lestrade who's talking. We don't care about her. Trusting someone else, it's an important exercise. We're talking about trust. It's all very good. It's all about feeling good, if you say so. We'll pack it in. But I suppose I feel the same. All right, these two love each other. Oh my god, hooray. Oh my god, it's Kazuma! This is the way I see it, Ryunosuke. Oh my god, yes, give me more of him. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. Kaz, you already know the things to say. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what he means. Kazuma, my boyfriend, the love of my life. Am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer that you believed I could be? Pardon the interruption. God damn it! But what the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? Oh, Sholmes. It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruhodo. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Ha ha, yes! It was me all along. I would have said when you finally noticed me. But you people, with your incessant babbling. Oh my god, me and Sholmes, we are on the same page. Let's cut the babble. It was me all along, you see. Yeah, you said that. I'd assumed you'd been taken back to the hospital. Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again. Great, alright. Made his knowledge, got his absence, we're bonding. Enough of my adventures, that was a fine victory. Alright, he's telling me how great I am. Congratulations are in order. Thanks. Alright, now these two are gonna have a quarrel. Seems not that important. Have a feel. Alright, take your hands off my neck. This is fine. Congratulations are in order to her. I do apologize for people who might get a little bit pissy that I'm skipping this, but like, let me ask the class. Do we really give a shit about this nonsense dialogue between these people anymore? I simply don't care anymore. Pay no attention to such drivel, myself. If it's not relevant to my plot, I'm ready to let it go. Reaper's a bit like him upstairs. Who, you mean God? Yeah. She's talking about God. I'm not fucking religious. Why are we talking about him right now? Gotta make sure they're getting what they deserve. Divine justice is one thing. Alright, McGilded's of this world. Yeah, you don't like McGilded. He's a monster. This is how I am in real life, too, by the way. Sometimes you get two people together and they start, you know, having a whole rendezvous, and you just kind of, you're there with them, but you're also, like, kind of zoning and minding your own business.
There you are, Hurley!
Great, now Iris is in the mix. They all got a bond with each other. Alright, he was disguised as the bailiff. He's got to tell Iris all about it. Uh-huh. And this is all cute and dandy. They love each other. Alright, so Ginny can't come to the party because she's gonna be nowhere for a while. You've committed so many crimes and you have to answer to all of them. Being a pickpocket's not a good life, Ginny. It's a job, isn't it? Nope, it's not a job, Ginny. It's robbery. You are a thief. You are stealing from people who have jobs. You should get a job. Then you don't have to steal from people who have jobs. Anyways, I'm sure it's all fine. Alright, there's the slums. Oh my god, you guys, she's crying. She has human emotions. Carriage has arrived for prison, ma'am. Oh my god, she has to go to jail. How sad. Alright, she's off then. Goodbye, Gina. Good luck in prison. We'll write to you. Oh. Oh, I don't like this. The fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know, I mean, I don't know what to say, so...
You're just gonna shoot me with a gun?
Oh yeah, Ginny, it's really good advice to say thank you once in a while. You know, like when a man saves your whole entire fucking life. Yeah, that's a great appropriate situation to say thank you. Right, well, I guess I'll say it then. Thanks, Otto.
You're welcome, Gina. Ugh, she's crying. Awkward. I mean, she's fine. Was she my favorite client that I've ever had? Obviously not, but she's fine. Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again. Well, quite the indomitable pick purse.
Oh, I nearly forgot! I bought a paper outside! It's a special edition and the trial's all over the front page! Pickpocket's innocence proven, isn't it wonderful?
Right. So, we are talking about a whole lot of nonsense still, right? Do we want to unpack anything a little bit more serious before I dip for the night? I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. No, we need the good news first. Alright, Iris, give it to me. Alright, yeah.
Alright then. Well, let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped! It was at a record level rainfall, apparently.
Well, that is good news. Alright, so what's the bad news?
The huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel in particular is very awful, so sailings out of Dover have been delayed by a day or more.
Dover?
That's right. If we head to the station immediately, we might still be able to make it in time to see
There is no way in hell that after being in court for 2 months, that Susato-san has not made it out of the country yet. This is some bullshit. There won't be a train. We can't be that lucky. Alright. Anyways, if they're gonna make it happen, let's make it happen. Alright, let's go see Susato-san. April 18th, 5:32, Port of Dover, Quayside. Well, that took somewhat longer than I anticipated. Yeah, the story of this entire fucking game, honestly.
Susie's boat is about to leave.
Susato-san! Where are you? Ah! There she is! Guys, John, don't worry. I'm not gonna skip talking to my best friend. Susato sounds like the only character I care about still in this game. Over there! It's my girl! She's reading something.
Hold it!
Oh, girl, what the fuck? Susato! What are you doing, girl? Oh!
Mr. Naruhodo, what are you doing here?
We came as soon as we could after the trial. We heard that sailings had been delayed due to the bad weather.
Oh, I see. Well then tell me, how did Gina's trial go?
It went well. She was acquitted.
That's wonderful. Really wonderful news.
Aww. The book that you were about to throw into the sea. That was your encyclopedia of British law, wasn't it? Oh, girl, I didn't fucking remember that, but okay.
Oh dear. I was hoping you hadn't seen that.
Why?
Well, I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now, so I was just saying my final farewell.
You were saying goodbye to law? Why? Would I be correct in assuming? It's because of the people, Miss Susato.
I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did was utterly unforgivable. That reminds me! How did you even come to have this, Susie? On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner. You remember, right? Of course! We had a wonderful time! Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean. Oh my god, did you pickpocket me? I stole Runo's armband.
Yeah, could we maybe not do that in the future, Iris? That band is very important to me. It was actually my dead boyfriend's, Kazuma's, and so it has a lot of sentimental value, and I don't want it smelling like 10-year-old girl perfume.
Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it.
You never pay attention. You never pay enough attention to the people you love until they're gone, Iris. That's what I've learned with Kazuma.
On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat Flap-O-Mat, so I put it up my sleeve.
Girl, what the fuck? Okay, only in the land of Japan, where you're wearing like a kimono with sleeves the size of body bags, can you fit a cat Flap-O-Mat inside of your sleeve.
Really? Yeah. And then I guess I forgot about it until I found myself in Mr. Windibank's shop.
When you forget about the cat Flap-O-Mat you're hiding in your sleeve, that's impressive. I see.
And then...
Bang.
Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes!
Leave me, Naruhodo! Right, okay, I'm gone. Leaving you.
After Mr. Naruhodo had left the shop, I started to think. The door started to play on my mind.
The storeroom door, you mean?
Yes! If Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized I could only be behind the door. And in that moment, the little device I had up my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina. I just had to know.
So you used the cat Flap-O-Mat to make the peephole in the door.
As captured in a photographic print of the shop! By one of Hurley's red-handed recorders!
Indeed! It was the first. It was of the first importance. That's no point. But yeah, he said words. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Naruhodo's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing.
But when I looked through the hole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. thoughts started to run through my mind. I remembered that trial 2 months earlier.
The trial of Magnus McGilded.
I thought about how he manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then, a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Windibank. Even though I was sure she would have never done such a thing.
You were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime.
That's right, but then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case.
How do you mean?
Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door.
I see. For which, a peephole would be the very thing.
Only the peephole that I made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference.
But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there. A trap. So that's how it all came together.
So is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made the peephole to anyone, not even the police! I know. And I knew that at a time I was doing something wrong. A criminal offense, even. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. If Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a corner with no other possible means of escape, the truth about the peephole could save him, and that was my plan.
She really does think of everything. But then, why wouldn't you have just told me the plan before the trial even began? My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. Oh. You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with a crime scene. So Miss Susato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. Oh my god, what a queen. For your sake, and Miss Lestrade's. Miss Susato.
The truth is, when it happened, I just did it because I'd lost a little of my faith in the law.
Oh.
I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime. But the moment I allowed myself to think that is the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant.
I don't think that's fair. I think you're fine. What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Ashley's the one who lied in the witness stand, using that peephole as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the peephole inconsistency hadn't existed, I don't even think that she would have been acquitted in the end. So, what you did actually saved Gina's life, and you should be my assistant, is what I am saying, and my best friend, because my boyfriend is dead, and so now I need to get a woman.
Oh! Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruhodo, you've saved me too, from my regrets.
Good. I should be a therapist. Well, we must all be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom has been assured. Yeah, we should. It's just, some of the loose ends in that trial, they still kind of fuck with my mind, no?
But the revelation that the music box disc contains secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo. What a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration.
Well, the thing is, it's just, the argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was.
What do you mean?
Well, there was a communications officer in the jury, you see. It was a telegraph operator, I'm pretty sure. She said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones. As one would expect. After all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubts they were written in cipher to avoid being readily understood should they have been intercepted. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's an additional a cipher different from Morse code. So in that case, we could never have hoped to have understood the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you. Yeah, I mean, all ciphers could be cracked. What? Kazuma? Huh?
Well, that can't be a real word, can it?
Iris?
What did you just say?
Why did you just say Asogi?
Oh, well, I just said Asogi. Does that mean something to you?
Means something? That's the name of my boyfriend!
What? But how? Wait, Iris, how do you know that name? Well, I wrote it down during the trial before, when the message was playing on the music, but
Girl, what the fuck? Excuse me? Were you gonna say something? Were you interpreting them? What's the cipher? You transcribed it on the fly? What?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I just tried a bunch of different ways to interpret it. But whatever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make a bunch of sense. Well, that is, in English.
Oh?
It suddenly occurred to me, there's more than one Morse code. Like, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code to use it in their own languages.
I don't believe it. Are you saying?
Mm-hmm. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before, but I think it's based on the Iro-hop pangram. Isn't that right?
Girl, I don't fucking know. I'm stupid. You mean to say that in Japanese Morse code, the message says Asogi?
Uh-huh, I think that's right. I'm sorry, but I don't really remember all of Japanese Morse code. Iris, could you let me see that?
Susato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code?
Of course I do, Naruhodo. I spent some time studying it. I'm smart. I read out of that book my entire fucking life. I'm quite sure Morse code will become more important than for international communications.
Well then might I recommend, my dear madame, that you focus your efforts on the English version.
Be that as it may, Iris, show me the message, please. Of course!
Okay. Uh-huh. Susato?
But, what does it mean?
What does what mean? What does it say? It's made the color drain from Susato-san's face.
There's no doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code.
So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications?
I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names.
4 names?
The first is Kei Asogi.
Kazuma! Why? His name was on the disc?
The second is A. Shin.
We don't know any Shins. I don't think, right? Do I still have profiles? Shin. Yeah, no, I don't recognize that name.
The third is T. Gurigason.
That looks vaguely like Tobias Gregson, but like, it's definitely not the same. Gregson? Yeah, right. Basically, it's close enough, and we got a T for Tobias. That's probably it. Oh, it would seem Tobias Gregson is the 3rd man on the list. Okay, so we're all just going with that. What's his name doing in a secret government communication as well?
And the last name.
What's wrong? Susato-san?
It's just so strange, and it's so unexpected.
Is it my name, or is it her name? I feel like it's gonna be one of ours. Maybe it's Herlock's name, but that would be wild. Oh, maybe it's Iris's name.
What is it, Susie?
It's one of us. One of us.
The last name is J. Wilson.
J. Wilson. Not I. That's not an I, right? That's a J. Is J her father? We know that Iris's dad is gone.
What?
Wilson?
John H. Wilson? Daddy? It says only J. Wilson. I can't be sure. Then, after the 4 names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all 4. And that's just the end of the message. Or, well, it's at least the end of what you noted down, Iris.
I don't get it. I don't believe it. Who would have thought that those discs contained Japanese Morse code? Not to mention a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names. It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan.
So Daddy could be in Japan then! Where Susie and Runo come from! Well, oh. It's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there's gotta be a lot of J's among them.
Maybe. Professor John H. Wilson. Oh no. Right. He was the visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. Oh god, I forgot that she doesn't know. We can't really tell Iris about that right now. 2 names of people who are dead, Tobias Gregson and then A. Shin, who we don't know. Huh. That's really strange. Somehow in solving the case of Mr. Windibank's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave.
I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside.
Oh, shit. What do we do now?
Oh dear, the ship's gonna set sail soon.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I'll sail on that steamship, first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan.
But are you sure you should leave?
You're really going then, Susie?
We wish you a safe passage, Miss Susato.
Thank you so much. I wish all of you the best.
But, Susato, I want you at my side. You gotta guide me. You gotta support me. I'm a stupid boy. Girls are supposed to help us.
Mr. Naruhodo,
please, you gotta come back. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the best judicial assistant in the world. And I need you here.
I'm quite sure that I'll be back before you know it. Really, Susie? Oh, no, don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill. A promise? About your manuscript. Oh!
Oh yeah, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Well, I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise. Definitely, Iris.
Huh.
Mr. Naruhodo,
Yeah?
do you remember the first time we met?
Yeah, I didn't like you back then. We've come such a far way. To be fair, you thought I was a murderer, you thought I killed my boyfriend, and then you flipped me on the ground. Yep, would never forget it. On the SS Buria, when I was dragged out from that wardrobe still half asleep. If I remember correctly, you did throw me across the cabin with a Susato takedown.
You know very well what I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, I somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma Saga's great legacy.
Aw, thanks, girl.
And my instincts were right. I really want to believe. No, I'm sure that. I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
Damn it, they got me hooked with a cliffhanger. Fuck. I'm still taking a break, but we are gonna have to play the second game now.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least.
Oh my god, the cat is with us.
Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey.
Oh my god, look at how cute we are. Oh my god, look at how perfectly still all the background characters
Fate led me
stand.
to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective.
They're so stagnant.
I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will. But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around.
Aww. I'm almost starting to care about these characters now.
I have the greatest
It's all
friends in the
cute.
world
Yeah, you
on
do.
my side.
That was cute. Credits, maybe? Oh. Hi. Oh, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. You're not the credits. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. Trials and Tribulations, isn't that one of the games? Fiction of Grandeur. Have you not watched my Trials and Tribulations streams? It's one of the best games. All right, like, granted, it's probably a little bit rough watching me play back then, because that was a while ago, and I wasn't as good at streaming then. But my personal opinions, if I had to rank, like, finales of games, I would probably put Dual Destinies as my favorite finale, because, I mean, come on, the Phantom. That trial was batshit crazy. But a lot of other people, they put Trials and Tribulations as their top tier, and I totally get why. I would think it's my second place. It is a wild ride, especially because it's a good one. If you haven't watched it, spoiler-free chat, you should go check it out. It's significantly cool. Yeah, Mr. Sholmes? Well, I have some rather awkward news. Oh, great. Yeah, what is it? The railway company has decided to sue over this special express train, apparently. What? Huh? What are we talking about?
It caused such a commotion on the line, all the other trains had to wait at stations.
But really? We would never have made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, well, he explains everything, and how it was all your fault. Oh. Huh? Well, I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Miss Susato, you love seeing extra paperwork and work. Alright, it's happy to testify. Is this my roundabout way to yell objection into the microphone? Mr. Sholmes? Yeah? A word, if you don't mind? Why, certainly. Any word you like. Bellow it. Yeah, it's this. I see. We're keeping the tradition alive. I'm ready. All right, then. I really gotta say...
Objection!
Objection! Now it's credits. Oh, Your Honor, I have a question. God. Whoo, boys! I did it. I played through the whole game. We made it to the end. Together as a team. A good team. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. Objection. I object to everything. Now I am free from this game. So like I said, obviously my curiosity is now peaked for the second game, but even peaked as it may be, I've been playing this game for, what, 3-4 months? I started after Christmas and now it's like April, so I for sure have to take a break from the Great Ace Attorney. We're gonna have to play a couple of other things, and we will circle back to it, and I will play the second one. You're just gonna have to wait on that cliffhanger, or if you guys don't want to wait, I mean, you're welcome to play the second game or find another Let's Play of it, but if you want to experience it with me, which you should want to do, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. Oh my god, it's been so long, I forgot that he was in this game. Man. Yeah, it's been good. It's been grand. I can't thank you guys enough for sticking it out with me. I know that, like, let's call a spade. We know that this game got tedious at times, and the dialogue got a little bit too drawn out and a little bit too lengthy. So for those of you that stuck with me through it, you're dope. I'm glad that we had it together. I forgot that Hasanaga was in this game too. Man, these people. So, tomorrow is Thursday, right? I will probably... Maybe I'll celebrate tomorrow by doing a Game & Sip stream, maybe, of Super Mario Sunshine. And then, hopefully next week, I will be ready with the next game that I will be playing on stream. And it'll be fun. John Brown, pretty much every case in the Great Ace Attorney 2 is great, except for the second one. A lot of people were divided on that one. I personally wasn't a fan, but maybe you'll like it. Okay. I guess the only question, and again, spoiler-free, obviously, the Great Ace Attorney 2, the only hope I'm having, like, the only thing that I really wish will get better for the second game versus this game is just the pacing. Like, it didn't even bother me that, like, I wouldn't sit here and say that the stories or the plots of these games were bad. I would just say that they were so overly drawn out and so lengthy that I just consistently found myself getting so bored in each case. I really truly felt that this game, more than any other Ace Attorney, had a really bad pacing problem. And I think if they can fix that going into the sequel and just kind of get shit rolling a little bit, like, more on track in the second game, that would be really, really a nice, refreshing change of pace. Oh, but yeah, he's our characters. I don't have the energy to read their dialogues this time about, so I do apologize for that. I've read a lot of dialogue for this game. Pacing is definitely better in the second one. It can still be a bit drawn out compared to earlier Ace Attorney games, but definitely not as bad as this game. Alright, I'll deal with that. And yeah, Ace Attorney, my life has been so wrapped up in this franchise. What am I going to do once it's over? We've played the original trilogy, Ace Attorney, Justice for All, Trials and Tribulations. We played the second trilogy, Apollo Justice, Dual Destinies, Spirit of Justice. We've played the crossover game, Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. We've played the Great Ace Attorney, so there's one more Great Ace Attorney that I know about, and then there's the two Edgeworth games that I've heard about. Edgeworth, like, Investigations, 1 and 2, I think. And then, in Spirit of Justice, there is the DLC case that I still have never played. I've been sitting on that case in case I really, really feel out of desperation like I need to, like, do something with Phoenix again. Because Phoenix Wright is my OG. I like him a lot. And I'm pretty sure the download case is one that's led by Phoenix Wright. So there's that case that I've never played and would be interested to play someday. But I'm sitting on that one for a rainy day. Because to my understanding, at least as of right now, it's the final, like, case that I haven't played in the franchise that Phoenix Wright is in. And I'm just not ready to let go of my boy yet, you know? 3 chwinks in a jail cell together. I've seen that porn before. Are we... Have I done enough to close out the credits here?
This past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. I've come to realize that's what life is all about. Naruhodo-san, I promise. Your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find me a new man. Shintaro Kojima. Oh, that's a really cute fucking photo, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, God, I am so handsome. Look at my cat. Look at Susato-san. She is a goddess. Dapper as ever is Herlock, and then Iris is there too. That's great. Yeah. Nice. Done? Finito? My boyfriend. Oh. What a lovely surprise. Okay. Well, I was gonna close it out, but I mean, as long as Kazuma's on the screen, I'm not quite ready to let it go yet. Anyways, I think, though, what I am going to do is I am probably going to go. I think it's been enough time. If you guys want, chat, I'm more than happy to leave the credits rolling before I close the stream, if you're interested in watching this little walking montage, especially of Kazuma, but I don't know how these credits are going to go. I got nothing more to say, and it's after 9 o'clock, let's be fair. Oh god, do you guys remember this, Hunty? Okay, no. Oh, hi, Professor Mitochondria. That's Mikatoba! Right, sorry. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna dip, and I will see you, boys, in the next one. Alright, toodles!